Steve Young, though, as we're talking about Brock Purdy evolving his game, here's what Steve Young thought on the 49ers Talk podcast with Matt Mayoka and Ji-Lee Chen about how Brock can evolve and elevate his game.
Make sure you have amazing people around you. Have an amazing coach, and all the pieces that, that's number one, because you need a lot of help to be great. That's a fact. We all know that at quarterback in the NFL. I think what you saw in the Packer game, there are free yards in today's wide open game. It's a different game than 20 years ago. And the guys who go get them with their legs in key moments, and I think that he needs to think about spitting out 50, 60 yards a game with his legs.
With his legs. Like the Lions game, right?
The threat. Well, I thought it was the Packer game, too, when he took off. The threat. And you don't have to necessarily do it every time, but defenses need to know, he at a key moment, he just got the first down because it's wide open. Go take it. Patrick Mahomes does a great job. Josh Allen, you see that every all the time. Lamar Jackson, you see it. Look, Brock knows he's not that guy, but he can be a threat. And I think that threat needs to come out more this year.
So Steve Young believes his legs will help him evolve to another level, and that he's going to have to run a little bit more, and that can help his game and help this 49ers offense. He's a mobile quarterback. Brock Purdy can make some things happen with his feet. Well, there's no doubt about that.
I thought in the Super Bowl there were a couple of plays, specific plays, where just a little movement left or right out of the pocket, opens up maybe that secondary play for a receiver to break and come to you on a broken play, but also just to get 5, 6, 7 yards instead of no gain. Instead of 3rd and 8, it's 3rd and 4 or 3rd and 6. I think the Mahomes does a great job of that. They don't really do design runs for Mahomes, but what he does really well is I'll just pump fake, and I just keep moving. Next thing you know, I get 6, 7, 8 yards. I do think that there are a lot more Purdy free yards, and not on the design stuff. I'm talking about the impromptu stuff. I think he needs to impromptu a little more. He is good when he's impromptu.
I don't know if I want Purdy running around a lot because he is the quarterback, and I have to pay this guy at some point, and God forbid something happens to him. We're going to Josh Dobbs, and we saw how the Josh Dobbs experience went in Minnesota. We've seen how he's gone in his career. Josh Dobbs is okay as a backup, but I don't want to see him play and take a snap in the regular season.
No one wants to see Josh Dobbs play.
My thought was, and I thought Steve Young would go in this direction, the drop-back passing game. The drop-back passing game has been very mediocre for the 49ers. And when it comes to these big boy teams and you need to drop back and make a throw, that's where Super Bowls are won and lost. How can he improve in the drop back passing game? Is it a Kyle thing? Is it a play calling thing? Is it a scheme thing? I don't know what it is, Shasky, but all I know is that drop back passing game let Niner fans and the 49ers down in the Super Bowl. At times it let them down against the Green Bay Packers. How can they evolve and how can they improve and modernize their drop-back passing game? Because that has been something that has been very suspect.
So we're going drop-back passing game, even though during the regular season they were obviously clearly really efficient. But it was a lot off of play action, things like that. So you mean 5 wide?
I'm 5 wide, 4 wide, 3 wide. I'm talking about 3rd and 7. Yeah. I got to have a 5-step drop. We need to make a throw. The pass game, just straight up pass game, vertical pass game, drop back passing game. I don't give a damn what formation it is. I don't care who's on the field. Yeah. It just let them down in critical situations. Under Shanahan, for crying out loud. This isn't just last year. Yeah. It's going back to 2019. It's going to 2021. In the playoffs, think about the Rams in the NFC Championship game and the Cowboys game and the Green Bay game. And I know we can say it was jibby, but the drop back passing game has been lacking. I need a little more.
Well, I think that's why they got Ricky Pearsall. See, and again, they might still move Brandon Ayuk, but how many times did they go 5 wide and they emptied out and it was Jennings or Conley? You just didn't have that extra guy, just one extra guy who's a separator, right? And I think that Ricky Pearsall in this equation, if you got CMC on the field, Debo, Ayuk, Pearsall, and Kittle.
Let me stop you for a second. This is why Brandon Ayuk, when it all comes back around to him, you can't get rid of the guy.
For this year, no. Absolutely not.
You can't get rid of the guy. I think
you're not better this year.
Foreseeable future. Somebody who's a man beater. Can you beat man coverage, for crying out loud? That does help.
Well, and I'd also like to see them split CMC out a little more. I know they want to get him matched up on linebackers. I would try to set him up in the slot a little more. I think he can be a great little slot receiver. I don't think they utilize that in the drop back passing game enough. If Tom Brady had CMC, yes, he would check down to him, but wouldn't he also split him out wide? And I think he would split out Kittle wide.
So maybe it's Kyle Shanahan who needs to evolve.
This is why I keep going back to I would like to see him let Brock do a little more at the line of scrimmage. I think Brock, if you are comparing Jimmy to Brock identifies the matchup at the line of scrimmage before the snap way better than Jimmy did. Like, oh, I got one-on-one out here, and Ayuk's going to cook that guy. He did it with Kittle down the line to the Jacksonville game. Like, he knew, he even said, like, this is going to me. I think Brock's really good at that. So if you're going to go 5 wide in those situations, let him conduct the orchestra a little. And I think that's where he can ease off Kyle Shanahan's kind of like deficiencies in that drop back passing game.
Well, the 5 wide that I think about 3rd and 5 in the Super Bowl, because Steiny brought this up, and I got in a really dark place Friday thinking about that Super Bowl because I remember it like it was yesterday. It's just the head coach, man. Made so many bad. But 3rd and 5 to ice the game in regulation. And Shanahan is saying, oh, CMC. And Brock Purdy's looking Ayuk's way. And he's looking right in front of a blitzer, and I believe it was Trent McDuffie. They do blitz.
A free blitz,
Free blitz, 5 wide. Boom, they sent an extra guy, and you throw it right into the blitz, and he bats it down. And now you got to settle for a long field goal, and Patrick Mahomes gets the ball back. There was a disconnect on that play where Brock Purdy didn't see what Shanahan wanted. Those guys have to get on the same page on these critical 3rd downs, and that's what I mean by the drop-back passing game and some of the evolution of this, whether it's the personnel, whether it's the formation. They just have to be better in these situations. 3rd and 5 to ice the game, to ice the Super Bowl, and the head coach and the quarterback weren't on the same page, and Brock Purdy gets his, Trent McDuffie gets his Matomo on. No. Well, and next thing you know, you're settling for a long field goal.
There were certain moments the offensive line and the communication broke down. It did. I'm not trying to take it off of Shanahan and off Purdy, but they did just get beat sometimes. Like one guy just blew a dude off the line. Yeah. There were a couple plays in particular, obviously the 3rd and 5, the snafu there.
And that was out of a 2-minute warning. So you had 5 minutes to diagram a play for 3rd and 5. Kyle Shanahan, the offensive guru.
Well, they got to the line and Burford and whoever it was on the right side, McKivitz, they didn't figure out who to stay in front of. They didn't do the right thing.
So do you really believe last year we're going to look back as we fact? Because once we get to Wednesday, we're going to fast forward. We're
going to be excited for next year.
We'll be excited for the upcoming season, but we still have a couple days to kind of relive last season. And going into the season,
do you ever get over the 2011 NFC Championship game?
No, I don't.
I'll
never get over it.
Me neither.
Because
they blew that opportunity.
And they blew that opportunity. They blew the next year's opportunity. They blew the year after opportunity. And now we're going down that same rabbit hole. We're like, damn, 2019, we had a great team. You're up 10 points on the Kansas City Chiefs with 7 minutes to change left. And it's a 3rd and 15, and we know what happened from that point on. The Rams. We sat there before that NFC Championship game at SoFi Stadium. But on the big board of SoFi Stadium, they were playing the Bengals-Chiefs AFC Championship game. And the Bengals won that game, and the crowd erupted knowing, boy, we got a great chance to win a Super Bowl. The Niners and Rams felt that way. It was like, boy, and the Bengals and the Rams cashed in.
So I keep coming back to the coach because I actually think the burden and the boulder on his shoulder gets heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier every year that they don't do it. Not even the players. I actually think it's like
Shanahan.
Yeah, because now it's been a variety of quarterbacks. I think
he's got the most pressure on him heading into 2024.
In a variety of ways.
It's not even the players, Shasky. He's got the most pressure on him going into 2024.
If we were to boil down frustration, I think play calling, not knowing the overtime rules, situational play calls, him deciding to go with that defensive coordinator in that moment of where they were as an organization that late in the process. A lot goes back to Shanahan. I would say he takes the biggest slice of the pie from that loss.
Oh, my gosh. He's got the most pressure on him going into the year, huh? He's not even a player. How can a coach, not a player, have the most pressure on?
And this is
I honestly, Brock Purdy's playing with house money.
And this is what I think about. All right, let's say this year you do take a step back and you go 9-8. Let's just hypothetically, you go 9-8. what kind of pressure is on you next year?
Oh my gosh. Here's what happened now. Uh-oh. What happened now? Oh wow. Yeah, we're not gonna Colin Cowherd. I thought something happened. I'd look at the studio. They're like, if Lincoln Riley's fired, Deion is a perfect replacement for the USC head coach.
Can he win like 7 games?
Right, yeah,
That's stupid. Don't say that again.
A little win in the Big 12.
Paul Feinbaum getting a little too overzealous there.
Yeah, Colin Cowherd. Look who we picked to win the NFC West, Shasky. Your boy, Colin Cowherd.
NFC West, yes, I like the Rams. I thought they had a back-to-back sensational drafts. Finished top 10 in total offense and scoring last year. I really like what they've done with their defensive front in the last 2 drafts. Niners are good, but they're an old, expensive football team. Watch out for injuries and the Brandon Ayuk noise.
It's the NFL. Everyone gets hurt. What is he talking about? And how are we old when Bosa's literally just entering into his prime? Ayuk is still, 26 years old?
He's on the roster.
All right. Like, Aaron Banks is young. You know, I dismiss that. Ricky Pearsall hasn't even played a snap.
Debo's 28 still.
What?
Yeah, no, just listening to that is just like my only takeaway is, okay, so the Rams are not going to win the NFC West. That was my takeaway from Coward saying that.
And they've got the oldest player in this equation in Matt Stafford. Like, I know I disagree.
They got the better head coach.
Who's also been injured.
But according to you, they got the better head coach.
Yeah, splitting hairs, yeah.
Oh, I can't believe you're on the McVay train.
I hate him.
Oh, I can't believe it. I thought I was a McVay guy. Oh, man, let's go to Dave in Fresno. Dave, what's happening? You're on the roast.
Hey, good morning, guys. Thanks for taking my call, man.
Anytime.
Yeah, you guys are talking about the offense evolving, and, I've been saying this for years, and Shasky, I appreciate you bringing this point up. Part of the reason I think Brock probably doesn't get the respect that he probably deserves is just Shanahan doesn't allow freedom of the quarterback to have that, before the line of scrimmage, to make, audible calls and things like that. I think everybody knows this is Shanahan's offense. This is his baby. Look at the history of the quarterbacks. He doesn't really talk to them on the sideline. His baby is that play sheet. That is the mother of all love for Shanahan, and that's all he cares about. And Brock, he stepped in. He's doing a good job, but Shanahan does not want to give that freedom. I just think that stubbornness gets in the way, and it kind of costs us in games. You can see that, And then we look at the history. We never really had a deep threat. Our fastest receiver is Marquise Goodwin, I believe, and we never really have a deep threat passing game. We did make some deep balls last year. But like Shasky said, that was mostly off like play action and things of that nature. But I'll tell you, you're right, dude. Sometimes when it's 39, with all these offensive weapons, I'm still holding my breath because that's just not the Shanahan.
All right, Dave, you're breaking up. By the way, he was a good call. It was a good call.
That was a half a flush.
It was a good call. Good call. By the way, all guests on 95.7 The Game appear on the River Islands guest line. This is the time for you to discover the islands. River Islands in Lathrop. Mike Florio at 8 minutes. Mike Florio, 8 minutes. Mike Florio. By the way, the Niners, they have the most players over the age of 30. They have 18 players over the age of 30.
Okay.
That's the most in the league. Who knows second most? Houston Texans with 12. 12. So the Niners, by far and away, even though they do have some youngsters, they are a little long in the tooth. They are long in the tooth. Steelers have 11 players over the age of 30.
Okay, but we have some guys that are, I would call legends. And so, the fine. Patriots for years had old teams.
Yeah, no, the old teams it does a lot of wear and tear, though. There is something that's something to monitor. They played a lot of 4 NFC championship games in the last 5 years. Like, we think about the Warriors and, all their finals runs, which is very impressive because they were playing in the deep June, and then have to come back for training camp in October. A lot of basketball, a lot of miles on those legs. Niners do have a lot of miles with this football team. A lot of calluses here, right? But injuries happen to every team. How do you overcome them?
Well, and I think they like Kittle, Juice,